Yo, what's going on, guys? It is Winnick here, back again with a brand new video today. So this past Thursday, the second season of Loki had the finale. The season wrapped up. The long-awaited second season of Loki finally came out. It wrapped up, and I'm going to do my spoiler review for the entirety of the second season of Loki. If you guys have been paying attention to my YouTube shorts, or if you've been following me on TikTok, you guys know that I've been doing short-form reviews of each individual episode of the second season of Loki, spoiler-free, and this is my long-awaited spoiler review for the entire season. I can't wait to talk about this amazing second season of Loki, so let's get right into it. So back when I did my review for Loki Season 1, you guys know that I really did like the first season of Loki. I thought it was a lot of fun. I did have some complaints about it, though, my main complaint being the fact that it ended on a cliffhanger, and it's just like, oh, that's it? And that was really just like the 2-year cliffhanger. The fact that we had to wait 2.5 years of almost, no, like 2.25 years, something like that, for this season of Loki, man. It's like, I can't believe I had to wait this long, but man, like, we finally got the second season this past 6 weeks, and man, it's just paid off so much. I'm just like so happy to report that season 2 of Loki is even better than season 1. And season 1 was already a great season, but man, season 2 is just an absolute stellar season of this show, and it's honestly one of the best Marvel shows ever. It's also it's arguably the best Marvel Disney Plus show ever. Arguably, I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to die on that hill because I've only seen the season one time, but man, I thought season 2 of Loki was just an excellent season, and I can't wait to talk about why I thought this was such a great season of the show. The main thing I really loved about the second season of Loki is that Loki feels more personal and human than he has at any other point in the MCU. I've always loved Tom Hiddleston as this character. I remember going and seeing the first Thor movie all the way back in 2011 in the theaters and loving this guy, but I just love the arc that he's had all the way up until this point, and just seeing the way that Tom Hiddleston portrays Loki in this season, it just goes to show you how perfectly casted he was all the way from the beginning, all the way up till now. It's kind of like the way that people felt about Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man, how he was so great in the first Iron Man movie, and then we got to his final stuff in Avengers Endgame. It like really goes to show how perfectly casted he was and how excellent he is as this character, and Loki's just another phenomenal example of that. Tom Hiddleston is incredible in this role. He was born to play Loki, and the way he makes Loki feel so personal in this season, oh, chef's kiss, man. I thought it was incredible. Tom Hiddleston's amazing as this character, and he really, like, I can't like describe how much sympathy I actually felt for Loki in this season of the show, which is kind of amazing considering that he was the bad guy at the beginning of all this. So, man, like 2 thumbs up to Tom Hiddleston for how incredible of a performance he's given for this character through the entirety of the MCU, especially, though, this season. I love seeing more of Loki's friendship with Mobius. It was cool to see the little bits of their friendship in the first season, but we got to see way more of it in this season, which is so entertaining, and Owen Wilson is terrific as Mobius. He's really, really charming. I think that he and Tom Hiddleston have great chemistry together as friends. Their friendship, like, you really do buy it, and it's a very like odd friendship at that, but it's a really cool one. They're so much fun to watch together, and seeing more of these two just made me really happy. It really just added a lot of like fun to the season, which I thought was really appropriate considering how heavy some of the subject matter was. I also love that in the second season Loki had made more friends this time around. I mean, obviously he had Sylvie and he had Mobius in the first season, but we also see him become friends with Ouroboros, played by Ke Huy Quan, who I'll talk about in a little bit, or even like funny, like more side characters like Casey or B-15. It was actually cool to see Loki have more than just 1 or 2 friends this time around. It goes to show you that Loki is actually a pretty likable person. He can be a very people-friendly person if he tries to. Very cool dynamic there with Loki and the friends he made in this season. And speaking of Loki's friends, I really did love the whole idea in this season about Loki's friends having different fates and different timelines. Even stuff as like Sylvie wanting to just work a normal life by working at McDonald's in like some other universe like that. It's like, it might seem like a silly thing, but it's like, no, like you really like take for granted the simplicity that some people just want in life. Reminds me a lot of the themes in Everything Everywhere All at Once, where you can literally be anything at any time, really. And like in different universes, maybe you went on to be this, maybe you went on to be that. And like, it was cool to see them kind of do that in this season of Loki, and seeing, I know, Sylvie have a simple life at like a McDonald's, seeing Mobius go on to have children in other timelines, seeing that Loki's friends, who have all been like TVA, like drones pretty much, or like people from other universes, actually just want to live a normal life. I thought that was just absolutely brilliant storytelling for the characters. It made the characters feel so much more personal as well. And also like the plot device that helped us like see like this entire different realities, different fates thing, the whole Loki time slipping. I thought that was a genius plot device. I was a little bit skeptical of it like at the beginning, because I was like, why is he just living through different timelines? But then seeing Loki slipped through different timelines, especially in episode 5. And we notice that there's a reason as to why he's doing it. Man, I thought there was just a genius plot device to help solve everything, because otherwise I feel like, had it been like, oh, Loki has to get from here to here to here to here on purpose, just feels like too simple, and I feel like it would have gotten way too convoluted. So the fact that Loki ended up everywhere by chance, but it's really just his fate. Oh, genius storytelling. The writers could not have done a better job. They couldn't have done a better job, in my opinion, with this, man. I thought, the writing, the way that they wrote this was so, so good. And continuing on with the whole, multiverse stuff and Loki's friends with Sing, Sophia DiMartino continues to be excellent as Sylvie. I liked her a lot in season 1. I think she's even better in this season. I actually felt for her character a lot more in this season. I mean, we did hear a little bit of her backstory in season 1, so you did feel for her a lot, but in this one, it was actually kind of cool to see her do different things in different timelines, or have to make sacrifices for herself, or you actually get to see her character grow a lot, which is really cool, because that's one of the dynamics of Loki that was always interesting, was that he started off as this evil guy who always had a little bit of of redeeming qualities, and him going through this fluctuating should I, shouldn't I thing. We see the same thing with Sylvie, although it's a little bit more simplistic, I think. And I think it actually helps out with her character as the way it should be portrayed in the show. I thought this how they did with Sylvie was awesome. And I'm reading my notes, I loved the scenes with Loki and Sylvie, even if it was heartbreaking at times. They were always a fun duo in the first season, and this season they feel even more personal, that they've definitely grown a lot as friends, and they're also having to make a lot harder choices this time around, having to see Loki go in shock that other version of him, or him having to stop Sylvie from killing He Who Remains. There's heartbreaking stuff going on between these two characters, but it's really cool actually. It's just very well done emotional moments. Honestly, it kind of reminds me a lot of what Loki had to do with Thor at times, though instead of a brother dynamic, it's a significant other friend kind of dynamic. And I want to talk about Oscar-winning actor Ke Huy Quan, who absolutely just stole the show as Ouroboros. I loved him in this role. I've always liked this guy a lot. I thought he was really good in Everything Ever All at Once. I was happy for him that he won the Oscar, and I'm happy that Ke Huy Quan is starting to see even more success after Everything Everywhere All at Once. It's cool to see how he went from the child actor from Indiana Jones and Goonies to basically retiring, coming out of retirement for this movie that was kind of a little we don't know what this movie's going to be really. That became a huge success. He won the Oscar, and he's still going strong in a show like Loki. He was so good. He stole the show. Every scene he was in, he just stole that scene, and he's so likable, he's so charismatic, he's also pretty funny. I thought he was a great addition to the show, and this is another great addition of having some lightheartedness in a show that dealt with some very dark subject matter. I don't know, I just thought it was a really cool dynamic to have this fun character when they're dealing with stuff like genocide and other lifetimes, or things getting the whole dismantling of different timelines, and having a character as fun as Ouroboros to help balance the whole thing out and to help bring the story together was just awesome. And Ke Huy Quan, if this guy doesn't get nominated for an Emmy, I don't even understand the existence of Hollywood anymore, honestly. Yeah, it was cool to see his character bring a lot more stakes to the show, with seeing how he was going to help them fix the timeline stuff. And that's the thing I want to talk about with this show, is that the stakes in this season, probably the highest stakes in any Disney Plus show ever. Very high stakes, and they all paid off super well. I loved also the mystery of not being able to predict the next episode. I was always what's going to happen in the next episode? I genuinely have no idea, but you knew it was there. One of the things that really upset me about Secret Invasion was the fact that every episode took risks, and then they played it so safe with the finale that it felt like there was no reason to take risks. Thankfully with Loki they didn't do that. They took risks, and those risks paid off in the finale. So the fact that they actually did something with the risks, as opposed to let's just have them there so they can be there, makes me so happy, because you guys have no idea how frustrated I was with the last couple Disney Plus projects, man. She-Hulk started off pretty fun, and it kind of just went downhill as it went on, in my opinion. Overhated show, but yeah, it could have been better. And then Secret Invasion started off so strong and then ended with the lackluster finale. Just oh man. With this, the way that they actually took risks, and they took it very tastefully, they took it very carefully at the same time, calculated risks, and the way it paid off. We finally have another top tier MCU Disney Plus show, which we've not had one of those in a while. Oh man, so to see that happen again with this season with the stakes was so, so great. One thing I want to talk about real quick with the stakes was episode 4. Them having to go fix the timeline by having, I think it was Victor Timely go out there with the thing to go fix it, and the fact that it just faded to black, it made me think that everything was just gone. The fact that that's how the episode ended, I was like, what? The fact that it ended on a cliffhanger, I was just no way. I was I need to know more now. Man, the whole week leading up to episode 5, I was genuinely just what are they gonna do? What are they gonna do? I couldn't oh man, it's one of the best episode 4s in any of the MCU, arguably the best, because episode 4s typically are like some of the strongest episodes in the Disney Plus shows, and this episode 4, the stakes, oh man, it was so just. And that's the thing I want to talk about. The stuff with He Who Remains, Kang, Victor Timely, whatever you want to call him, right? Jonathan Majors' character was fantastic. I liked the stuff with He Who Remains at the ending of the first season of Loki, and it was cool to see the Kang variant in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, and then seeing the Victor Timely variant in the post-credit scene for Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. I was like, oh, this is interesting. And I actually liked a lot of stuff they did with Victor Timely in episode 3 of the show. I thought the set pieces and the whole period piece thing of episode 3 was brilliant, but it was also cool to have like a Kang variant who wasn't really a bad guy. He was more just I don't even know how to describe it. If you've seen the show, you know exactly what I'm talking about, but having him like not exactly be a bad guy and actually having to see Loki defend him, be like, wait, this isn't a dangerous variant of Kang. This is just a guy. And to actually see Victor Timely, I have written down my notes, to see him be a hero at times, and actually see him like risk his life and stuff. But I know he came back, but to see him like risk his life to try and save the thing that would branch the timeline together, add a lot of complexity to variants, which is kind of cool. It goes to show you that like not every variant of Kang necessarily has to be evil, you know? It also kind of like is appropriate given the complexity of Loki as a character to have a Kang variant who isn't so evil, to have a Kang variant who's just very complex or who actually can go on to be good. So it goes to show that even though there is like a multiverse of Kangs and like Kang can be problematic, not all Kangs are problematic. It was actually a pretty cool dynamic. And as I said at the beginning of this review, Loki's arc since the first Thor movie all the way up till now has just been incredibly satisfying. I think there's never been a dull moment with Loki's arc, even if I wasn't crazy about Thor the Dark World, or, you know, even if I don't love every single aspect of every thing that he's been in. I think that what they've done with Loki, never been a dull moment, never been disappointing, and the way that it like wrapped up in this episode with the sacrifice that Loki made, where he's now sitting on that throne as like the emperor pretty much of the timelines. I lost it watching that. I was like actually on the verge of tears watching that. Like the fact that Loki's whole arc started off with him being this like misunderstood god who wanted to like get revenge, to him being like the biggest threat to New York, to kind of being like an anti-hero, to him trying to save the universe, to him dying, then him coming back and saving the timeline, and actually being like the hero of time variation. I can't put into words how amazing of an arc that is. And like Loki became the god he always wanted to be. It's such an incredible, phenomenal arc. Like I was so happy with the way that Loki's arc wrapped up in this season. The fact that he went from being evil guy to I'm gonna save the timeline and become like the emperor of everything on that throne. And the fact that he also did it to like not just protect other people but for his friends too, making huge sacrifices. It's honestly like a Tony Stark saving the universe level of sacrifice. And like you gotta give all props to the writers, to Tom Hiddleston's performance, to the character of Loki and everything leading up to it. Is like you may not necessarily love every aspect of what's happened with each project the characters in, but when you look back at what they did with the project of First Thor to Loki Season 2, you really just have to sit back and give everyone involved a huge round of applause, because they just like really excellently crafted this entire storyline for this character. So even though this was an excellent season of Loki, it's definitely one of the best things Marvel's done in regards to their TV shows. I do have a few complaints, but they're really small ones. My only real complaint about the show that I have written down is that I kind of want to see a little bit more some characters. I want to see a little bit more Casey, because I thought he was kind of interesting. I want to see a little bit more B-15. I also want to see a little bit more of Renslayer or Ravonna. Although the twist of Renslayer being an assistant of He Who Remains, like at a different point in time, that was actually a really cool twist. I liked that, and I hope that we get to see more of Ravonna in like future projects, maybe like Secret Wars or something. I don't know, but man, those are the kind of like little complaints that I have. Like I want to see a little bit more of this, want to see a little bit more of that, but overall, what an excellent season of Loki. It was so good to see Loki's character arc wrap up in a way that was satisfying. Great character moments, a lot of risks taken, a lot of like really amazing just technical aspects of the show in regards to like how it was filmed or the set pieces. There were no reshoots either, which I think is a huge plus. It all felt so natural. The tone, the comic relief, the show was just so brilliantly crafted for its second season. The first season was already really good, but the second season is just another level. It's like if I had to compare it to something, like I would compare it to Puss in Boots. Like Puss in Boots 1, great movie. Puss in Boots The Last Wish, amazing. That's how I feel about Loki. Loki Season 1, great season. Loki Season 2, phenomenal. Like, oh, I couldn't be happier with the way this season turned out. And, like, the 2-year wait, so worth it. And I'm hoping that with a season this great, I'm hoping that we get a Season 2 of Moon Knight. And I'm hoping that, like, the future shows in the Disney Plus MCU thing will hopefully be this high quality, because I think we're finally getting back on track with the quality of the MCU TV shows in regards to Disney Plus. So I can't be happier with the way this season turned out, really. So with that all out the way, I'm going to finally give my overall rating and review. This was a super entertaining season of Loki. I'm going to give it an overall rating of a 9.5 out of 10. Very few complaints, really. And I'm going to have to give it a grade of an A+. There's really not a whole lot of bad stuff I can say about this season. It was overall very well crafted. I hope you guys really enjoyed the season just as much as I did. Let me know what you guys thought of Loki Season 2 in the comments down below. And because it's a spoiler review, you do not have to put warnings or anything. You can go ahead and talk about it in depth in the comments down below. Let me know what you think, because I want to know that I'm not alone on this. I know lots of people have loved the season, but I want you all to just like have fun with me and geek out in the comments down below. Let me know what you guys thought about the new season of Loki. I thought it was incredible. So I think that's going to be it for the review today, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the review. I am going to have a couple other stuff coming out in the next few days. I'm going to have my review of the Marvels, hopefully coming out tomorrow. It'll be coming out soon. And I think I'm going to do a spoiler review for that too, because that was a really interesting movie. I should have some other stuff coming out in the near future soon. I am, however, streaming on Twitch again, so please go follow me on Twitch if you haven't. I've been playing some like OG Fortnite and stuff, and I've been looking at funny stuff on Twitch, so definitely go check me out on Twitch. Go click the link in the description so you can go follow me on Twitch, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, because I'm going to be posting a lot of stuff over there. Yeah, stay tuned for a lot of content coming out in the future. I can't wait to post some more stuff coming out over the next few weeks and months. Thank you guys so much as always for watching. I really appreciate all the support that you guys give my videos. If you want to support the channel, make sure that you hit the like button, as it really helps out. And feel free to subscribe and hit the notification bell to get notified about my latest videos. Make sure that you leave a comment down below letting me know what you think. And yeah, that's been it. Peace.